All right, welcome everybody. This is Barney Quincy and shooting live right here from Ontario, Canada. And I am at the library today because we lost the internet. The internet's not connected in our new home. We just moved into our new home. And so it's been pretty awesome and exciting. So I'm at the library, and today we have another weekly installment of our live weekly coaching calls. I think we're actually getting close to almost 60 weeks in a row, with the few exceptions where we've had a couple people or a couple incidences where we've missed things, or the call didn't happen, or there's an emergency that happened. But we've been here every week. And if you're new to our community, the Animal Wellness Summit is dedicated to the holistic care of dogs, cats, birds, and horses, and other animals as well, but mainly those four. And so we do an annual event. It's an online summit every year. Last 2 years, we've 2017, 2018, and we're doing it again this year in 2019. So pre-registration is open, even though it's very far away. It's like not until November. I think it's November 7th to the 16th. I should know those dates off the top of my head, but there's so much planning that goes into these events. But at any rate, Donna Woods is here with us today as one of our guest presenters and speakers who's been a part of the summit. Donna was a part of our 2018 summit, but not the first one. So first of all, I'm gonna bring Donna in and welcome her. I'm just gonna click this magic button here. All right, you're on screen there, Donna.
All right, hey everybody. I'm Donna Woods, and I am the CEO of Photonic Health.
Cool, and you are from Ocala, Florida, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So everybody, well, you guys are coming in. Jody, nice to see you. Alicia, Linda. If you have questions for myself or for Donna, just go ahead and pop them in as a comment, and then we will do our absolute best to get to them. But first, before we jump right in to this, I always like to give a brief introduction, Donna, because some people know who the presenters are, and some people are like, I have no idea who this person is and what their story is. So I think to give a little bit of context, can you just tell us a brief story about what you do and how you got to where you are now?
Yes, absolutely. So my husband and I are avid animal lovers. We have 6 horses, 4 dogs, and 3 cats. And we've had a menagerie of about that size for about 20 years. And, you know, we got into light therapy by mistake. We were introduced to it through Pirelli Natural Horsemanship, and back in 2002, which was a very long time ago. And it was one of those things where it was like, here's this veterinarian waving around this little red light going, hey, you can take your horse out of colic in 20 minutes and you can fix headaches and you can take pain away. And, you know, my husband's an engineer, and so he was incredibly skeptical. And I didn't want to have to endure, you know, all of the ins and outs of like when a horse colics, all of the stuff associated with that and the trauma and drama. And so we were really skeptical, and we bought our first red light, and we were home with it 20 minutes and our horse colicked. And we knew nothing. I mean, we had just gotten into horses 2 or 3 years earlier, so we knew nothing about anatomy or anything like that. And we somehow fumbled our way through the picture book that was given to us, and we pulled our horse out of colic in 20 minutes. So we instantly became red light junkies. And in 2007, we lost our device. And at the time, there weren't many light therapy markets, or there weren't many light therapy devices out there. And so my husband and I developed one just to take care of our friends and family. And we thought, you know, well, we'll order a small batch, and, you know, it'll be like 50 of them and we'll be good for the rest of our life. Well, it just kind of blossomed, and before we knew it, you know, we are celebrating 10 years of being in the natural healing business, specifically to red light therapy and other types of light therapy as well. So and a whole lot of education classes and expanding markets. Last year, our one device, which is the pain-free pet system, just became FDA cleared for the human market. And so we're incredibly proud of that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I forgot that I was on mute again. So I do that often. You'd think it's my first day on the job, but when you go to do, like you said, that's what you guys are doing with the therapy. So tell us a little bit more about that. Like, do people come in for sessions, or you're, selling the devices? Because we're going to learn a little bit more about it as well.
Right.
And yeah, but tell us a little bit more about that. Like, do people come to see you and they do their treatments, or?
Well, so that's a great question, Barney. So, our business model and really the heart, like we are do-it-yourselfers. So if we can do it ourselves, if time allows, and if we have the tools, and if we just need some knowledge, we'll do it ourselves. And so when we started our company, it was really to empower the average person so that they could be able to manage their expenses, and also to be able to provide comfort and relief to the animals as soon as the injury happened, while they were waiting for the vet appointment. And so what it has happened is it's actually morphed into, we have practitioners across the world. And so they, a lot of people are unsure about, like, well, what is this and how does this work? But they're really open, like, okay, I'd like to know more. So we have a lot of veterinarians, massage therapists, body workers that use our devices in their practice. We do have practitioners that do go out and do light therapy that have been certified through us. So it's kind of a blend of the two. If you want to do it yourself and have it available, the technology is 100% safe. So with a little bit of, just a tiny bit of information, which we provide, people can really get some great results. Or if they want to have a medical professional practitioner, they of course can seek that out as well.
Okay, cool. No, that's good, just because I know that when I think of the questions, at times when before I go to ask them, and then I'm like, oh no, that's probably a silly question. But then chances are, if I'm thinking it, somebody else is thinking it. And
absolutely.
So Alicia McGuire was asking, is this infrared therapy?
So our pain-free pad system is a combination of red light therapy, infrared therapy. We incorporate blue in there as well, because blue has been clinically proven to kill 98% of MRSA in one application. And then we also incorporate Nogier frequencies. And so what frequencies are is it's a pulsing. So a different frequency can pulse faster or slower. And then there's a little bit more out there that we haven't published because it's kind of a little woo-woo. And, Brian and I are energy practitioners first and foremost. So we do have sacred geometry built into our pain-free pad system as well.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that I'm just off when I'm off the screen. So, okay. So it's not just the red light therapy, it's the infrared. So it actually gets warm then?
Yes. So the pain-free pad system, you can use each light individually or in conjunction with each other. So the beauty of infrared is that it does provide a nice warming sensation, and it also penetrates deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have, we use an ion detox foot bath. Have you ever heard of those things?
Yes, I've had those done.
Yeah. So we're a new presenter to the summit this year. His name's John Jacobs. He actually lives, surprisingly, like 30 minutes from me. And we bought the units and used them in our gyms. And he had these ones called the 3-in-1 Fit system. And it had the ion detox part, and then it would have the ionization, and then it would have the far infrared belt, and then it would have the TENS that you could put on. And it was just cool because I would use the infrared belt just when I was working, and I would just put it around my midsection or around my back while I was working, because it's just nice and warm. And
right.
It feels really good.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a pad that you're talking about, not like the actual, like the torch or the
not yeah. So not like so we do also have 2 handheld devices,
yeah.
And those are just straight. Well, they're both just straight red. One of them, our standard light, is an entry level model, and it works great. Like it works extremely well. Linda Pirelli used it several years ago to heal her horse's medial patella, not medial, I'm sorry. He blew out his tendon in his back leg, and the vet wanted to put him down, and I believe Molly Bacco was there at the time, and so we used a combination of our standard light and essential oils, and the good news is the horse is here today and he's not lame, and that's awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, so in our ProGen 2 does have a pulse setting in that, but our pet system, it covers a much larger area. It's like got 180 lights in it. So it's designed, it's like a size of a legal piece of paper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your hair looks great, by the way, Barney.
I know I always like to do my hair for the calls, but it's funny. I had somebody point out to me, they're like, every time you're on a call, you're like playing with your hair, like touching your head, like you get like, nervous. And I'm like, no, I'm not nervous. I don't know, I guess
yeah, it's just one of those things that you subconsciously do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let me pull this up here. Okay, so Alicia's just saying thank you. It's pretty cool. And would love to learn more about light therapy. And I know we have Eva Survey, who might be on here as well, from Advanced Photonic Therapy. She's been on the summit every year for the last 2 years.
Yep.
So there's some great training and education. You guys, this is the neat part with the summit. There's always, with everything, as we're talking about the light with red light therapy, it's always great to have different perspectives. We have people that are on the summit who, see, there I go again, scratching my head. I have people who, like Dr. Ruth Roberts as an example. She's an advocate for like the original crock-pot diet, and she really believes in just listen to the animals, specifically dogs and cats. But like, sometimes they need to have food that's slightly warmed or cooked in a slow cook pot, and then some dogs or animals do really, really well with raw. And I've noticed this just purely from an unbiased perspective, talking to so many of you as presenters, observing people in the summit, those of you who are attendees of our event, and comments, and there's this like unspoken, not in a bad way, but this controversy of like to raw feed or to not raw feed. And some people are really strong advocates for it and some people aren't. And I say this because I love it. I love a good, like, some people think it's good, some people isn't. And I say that because it's nice having different perspectives on similar types of therapy, like essential oils. You mentioned essential oils. I don't know what brand or what oils do you use, a specific brand at all, or?
So I use this. I'm going to tell you straight up. I am brand neutral.
Yeah, and I probably know why.
I am brand neutral. However, I did start out my my career, or not my career, because I don't have a career in essential oils, but we use them in our office and in our home every day. And I do, like I started out with Young Living. I absolutely love their Animal Sense ointment. It is probably like I sell that out of my office more than anything, because I just think it's like an absolutely stellar product, and their Copaiba is just incredible.
Yeah.
So, but because our primary thing is light therapy, I love essential oils. Yeah. You have to do your own homework, and you've got to pick what resonates with your heart. And we use them personally and on our animals as well.
Yeah, no, and it's funny. I say that because there's some people, without getting into it, but there's this big, controversy with doTERRA and Young Living about the story. Now they got started, and both sides have their story. And I'm neutral, but I choose Young Living. I'm kind of like, whatever, you use this company, good on you.
Right, exactly.
If they work for you, then just keep doing it. And I share this because I know that I don't know how much difference there is to the red light therapy that you have and what Eva has, but I say that just because I know that she's probably on. But other people, because those of you who are learning, what's really neat about this. Now, your presentation last year in 2018, did you talk about the red light therapy, or did you do something else on the summit? I can't even remember.
Well, so what we talked about was identifying pain in your dog, hidden signs of pain, because we all know, like, when the dog is in pain, when it's limping and it's very obvious. But really what's going on is there's ways that you can identify pain using an acupoint assessment.
Yeah.
To catch those things before they blow up into big major health problems. And so, we're all about prevention. And so that's kind of what I talked about. I showed how to do a basic assessment on your dog. Because there's a lot of, and it's a very similar assessment as what you would use on a horse. Right. And it is, like, dogs don't typically flinch. They only flinch if there's a discomfort in there. Right. And so a lot of us kind of overlook it, or because our lives are so busy, we don't really have time to do that. And so our thing is let's catch it before it becomes a big issue. And let's, of course, and, so with red light therapy, it can just do so many things. And the research that's coming out, especially of late, is all about stem cells. And that I just had a very good friend of mine. She's turning 70 this year. I won't say her name, otherwise she'll kill me. She uses our pain-free pad system, but she was having a lot of hip problems, and she had 2 bad discs in her lower back. Yeah. So she went in for stem cell therapy, and she's been really adamant and consistent about using our pad system leading up to this. Well, when her doctor extracted her stem cells, he says, well, the average that he sees is about 800 to 900,000. He says the highest he's ever seen has been 2 million. Her count was 8 million.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's a smoker, and she also likes to have cocktails in the evenings. And so that, awesome. That is really a testament, especially like to our product. And I can't speak for other products because I don't have experience with that. But what I do know is that, with this, specifically with our pad system, we're able to, so the way that stem cells work, it's kind of like your cell is having a baby, and it requires most of the energy of the mitochondria, which is the little energy center in the cell, to produce this new stem cell, and then it breaks off when the stem cell's ready to go. So what happens with the light therapy is it just makes it do it a lot faster, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah. So in addition to it, being anti-inflammatory, and, basically we can eliminate inflammation in one session, and release fascia and relax muscles and stimulate acupoints. We're also increasing stem cells.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I know my somebody that I know in the fitness industry had to go get stem cell surgery, I guess, on her back. That's initially said it really, really helped, and then she came back a year later, and she had changed her kind of protocol of an oil routine, her essential oil routine. And the surgeon was like, wow, like, what are you doing? There's other things that she's doing too, but he was impressed. He's like, wow, it's whatever the count is, or whatever the rating is, or whatever, was a lot higher.
Right.
And,
exactly.
So it's good because, and I think that's the thing with, like, speaking of that, like Tina, who just said, she just joined Young Living. So good on you, Tina. saying about using essential oils or using the red light therapy, the different, like there's this other device that's out there. It's a German medical device called the Beamer. We've been using that personally for like 3 years, and I first was like, really, like this thing seems a little bit bizarre. But all of that stuff, in my humble opinion, from 15 years or more in holistic health, is they're only supporting our body's ability to do what we've been naturally created and designed with our innate intelligence that's programmed into our body at birth or in conception from our creator, if we could say God or the universe, to help facilitate the natural healing ability that we have. Now, I can't say that essential oils heal the body, cure the body, because we'd all get in trouble. And I don't know how or what you can or can't say with the red light therapy, but I'm just saying that because I'm, kind of strengthening and adding to what your point that you said earlier. Right. I agree, because they're tools to help facilitate our ability to, maintain homeostasis and balance. And that goes for our animals, obviously, as well.
Right. Well, Barney, it kind of goes like, if you think it just from a real simple perspective of building a house, you can't build a house with just a hammer.
Yeah.
You've got to have a hammer, you've got to have a level, you've got to have a, screwdriver, you've got to have a saw, and so
which is a good metaphor, because we just built a brand new house and we literally just moved in last night. So this is a good metaphor.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so it takes tools that all kind of go with each other to help that process along as easily as possible. And so that's where, like, red light therapy and light therapy in general, like when you combine it with essential oils, it's just absolutely amazing what it can do.
Right.
Each modality is great standalone, but when you start combining them together, it's absolutely incredible. And so, we're advocates for, anything natural, anything holistic. So that's, I absolutely, we all play in the sandbox together really well.
Yeah, the tools for sure. And the tools are something that exactly, they really complement. In my opinions, they complement and complete each other. They shouldn't be, I shouldn't say that they shouldn't be, but there's the competition that they're not competing with each other. I think that when you use certain therapies or different elements, oils, herbs, or different feeding approaches to feeding your animals, that they can have a synergistic effect on the body in a compounding effect type way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We just brought on a new client, and we had just hosted another, one of our people. We had hosted her for essential oil class. And this lady came up and says, I want to know more about light therapy. I've got this 10-year-old dog that has cancer, and and I've got the whole diet thing. Like she's got that down to an art form, and she's been using oils, but she just wasn't getting the movement that she had wanted.
Yeah.
And, she had made progress, but it wasn't completely gone.
Right.
And so she added in our pad system, our pain-free pad system. And within 3 weeks of adding the pad system into the feeding routine, the essential oil routine, the tumors on her dog had completely disappeared.
Yeah, see, like that's just awesome. It's being able to judge by results regardless of the approach or the tool. Really, that was always my thing when I was actively training clients. Is like, I don't know, like this is what's worked for hundreds and thousands of other people. This exact formula may not work, or combination or whatever for you, but chances are you're going to see some success, but you just have to kind of go with the flow. Because I mean, I've seen that. I've seen people, and I've been guilty of that too, where you treat your stomach like a garbage can. I try not to, like, to still have an 80-20 rule, but I've observed people, and I mean this humbly, no judgment. Because I've done this. The only reason I can see this in others is because I've done it myself. But when they have a bad diet and then they use supplements and oils and shakes and different things to try and balance that out, and it's not, it may not help as much as if there's that combination of
correct,
right?
Correct.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tina was just asking, or just saying, definitely interested in light therapy. My lab pit mix has tendonitis in right shoulder, and then she said earlier, sorry, left shoulder. I have here on very good supplements and turmeric and CBD. She is better, still limping. So could you just give her a little tip, because I think that'd be very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, tendonitis is obviously inflammation in the tendon in the shoulder. Okay, and so Tina, you're doing a really great job of the turmeric, the CBD oil, of attempting to bring down that inflammation. And so the thing with that light therapy would help with is, when we give supplements like turmeric and CBD oil, it gets ingested into the body and then it gets filtered out, and it's kind of like a radiating effect. It kind of like flows out over a longer period of time, maybe 24 hours, could be 8 hours. Light therapy and some essential oils, I'm going to throw essential oils in there too. When you apply it directly to that injured area or that inflamed area, it's going to help to bring that inflammation down immediately. That's what we really want. We need to get that inflammation down. And so the thing with light therapy is that it has been, I think there's over 5,000 published medical studies on it, that it helps to repair and create collagen. It stimulates collagen. So you'll see, so a tendon, a ligament, bones, skin, it's all made of collagen. So so it's really going to be important to get that inflammation down so that we can get the collagen repair starting to happen. And the other thing of it is you definitely want to keep her activity level down as much as you can. Sometimes that's really hard if you've got a really active dog. But the other component that we have found is that if you're applying, maybe you've been applying oils or something to the shoulder that's injured, you also want to do the opposite shoulder, because what happens is the body is this just dynamic machine. And when it starts, and so it'll send energy from the good area over to the bad area to start to help the healing process. And so we've actually had a lot of success with our clients that have used light therapy, and they're like, well, we've been red lighting. I think the one lady was my mom's ankle. I've been red lighting my mom's ankle and I've been oiling it and it's not helping. And I said, do the opposite ankle. And within 2 days, there was a huge shift. So that's what I would, I'm a huge proponent of light therapy, obviously. We have had a lot of successes with dogs and ACL tears. And those are about the most difficult injuries in dogs to repair. Most people go to the vet and the vet does surgery, and there's about a 80% chance that that surgery will fail. And we've had lots of clients that have opted for using our device, and we've got about a 95% success ratio without having to have surgery.
Yeah, that's good. I think Tina she's saying, wow, I know it's hard. She wants to play. And I'm off the screen again, but yeah, so that's great. I think that was awesome and gives Tina, so hopefully that helps you. And that was really great. Good answer, Donna.
Awesome.
This one here, so this is Julie Jacobs just saying that
yes.
Brian are awesome. Their pad is amazing. Things for my pup. Completely eradicated her lump in a week and avoided surgery. Cleared up her skin issues, and nothing else could ever do that for years. Helps with her belly issues and helping back issues. Highly recommend the pad. So that's good. That's where I would just say, it's important to judge by results, right?
It's called empirical evidence, Barney.
Yeah.
And back in 2002, you know, light therapy, even though it had been around for a long time, it was still considered voodoo. And even when we started our business 10 years ago, people were like, what? Are you crazy? Like,
yeah, I know.
Come on.
Yep.
And, you know, it's how but, you know, there was so much empirical evidence that we had seen it time and time and time again, that no matter who we used it on, what we used it on, we got really great results.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if it was on our horses, if it was on our dogs, if it was on ourselves. You know, I've got practitioners out there that there's a video out there for red lighting a bird, and, you know, like change that bird's life, and the bird's just like fluffing up its feathers because it feels so good. You know, and I'm the type of person that I will stop to, you know, if I see a turtle on the side of the road, I'll stop and, you know, help it across the road. Like, that's just what we do.
Yeah.
And we've just seen it work on so many things that the empirical evidence has been around for a very long time. It's just we're waiting for the science to catch up with it.
Yeah, it's honestly, if I didn't know you were talking about the red light, because you're talking about the red light therapy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That, when I listen to you talk, I'm like, yep, that's like, I started using essential oils like 11 years ago. And I remember people like, what are you doing? Like, this is so weird. And It wasn't mainstream, and now it's a lot more mainstream. And it's just, you know, I chuckle, and people are like, oh my goodness, I used peppermint, and it was amazing. I was really bloated, and I put some on my stomach, and I felt awesome. Or I had a headache, and I put this oil on, and I'm like, I know.
Right.
And I don't laugh out of like out of spite or anything, or like it's chuckle, because it's like, I know what you mean.
Right.
And we used to have a saying that we're constantly amazed but never surprised at the stories and the results that come in.
Absolutely. You know, that's absolutely it. And, you know, when my husband and I came out with our pain-free pad system 2 years ago, we were just, you know, the reason we developed it was so it would be an easier, quicker, faster way to deliver the therapy. And, you know, we added in the infrared and the blue, and then the Nogier frequencies, and thought, okay, cool, this is just going to be more of what we're already getting, which is really good stuff. And the testimonials that we're getting back from people are just amazing. You know, like you said, like, not surprised, but amazing. You know, we had you know, just, you know, and the really surprising thing, and I know we're supposed to be talking about dogs, but I'm going to talk about cats for a second.
Yeah, sure.
So cats are incredibly as you know, I'm sure you know, like, cats are so incredibly sensitive.
Yeah.
And sensitive to energy, and sensitive to essential oils, and, you know, probably don't have a lot of, you know, and even red light therapy and our handheld lights. And so we were like, okay, that's fine. Well, when we brought our pad system out, we started getting all these pictures coming in from our clients where the cats are coming and crawling and laying right on the pad system, or wanting to be blanketed in it. And it just kind of blew us away, because, like, you know, they definitely know what's good and what they need. And so the fact that they were like choosing to come lay on the pad system was just not something we had expected.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, and good, because they don't have a programmed mind to think one way or the other. They just respond.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wanted to pull this up. Mercedes is asking, would like to know, when you combine essential oils and light therapy, what makes these two modalities really powerful together? And then Brian, I don't know if this is the Brian, is this your Brian?
That is my Brian.
Your Brian. When I say your Brian, I mean, just because somebody mentioned Donna and Brian, and then Brian mentioned this. But so he just said that the light will amplify the effects of the oil. So that's why I say the light first, unless you want more effect with less oil.
Yeah.
So he's saying to light first and then oil?
Yeah, that's what we recommend doing.
Okay.
Because what happens is what we're doing, Barney, is we're stimulating the mitochondria within the cell. And when we do that, it induces something called phagocytosis. And I know that's a pretty big word, but
Yeah.
what that does is it's kind of like Pac-Man coming in and cleaning up all of the debris and the gunk within the cell. So that's what light therapy does. And so when we get that cell jump started, right, and this phagocytosis going on, then we add the layer of the oil onto it, and the oil, it just magnifies, it just accelerates that whole process.
Yeah. Yeah. And go ahead.
And the other thing that we've discovered, especially like with peppermint oil, if you like put peppermint oil on first, and then you put the light on, it will amplify the oil. As in with peppermint, there's tingling.
Yeah.
You'll really get tingly.
I love some peppermint oil, that's for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we just, you know, what we have found best that works for us is that we red light and then we oil. Because the other thing is, you know, the oils are so powerful that if the oil comes in contact with basically any light therapy device, the end of it, it'll start
melting. Eat away at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think this is like to, you know, the question of people when they first start using oil. So like Tina, I saw that you just joined Young Living. Now you may not be new to using oils, but the question that I got and still get a lot is, well, do I have to dilute first? Should I dilute first? Put a carrier on first and then the oil? Should I cut it and mix it together and then put it on? Should I put it on neat and then put the carrier on? And I'm like, try it all. But typically when you're first starting out, this is for humans anyways, I tell people to put a carrier on first and then the oil, test a little bit first and then build your way up, because you don't want to find out the wrong way that you put too much peppermint on, that is for sure.
Correct. Yes.
So yeah, so Mercedes, just a comment. So Mercedes, nice to see you, by the way. Nice to see you on here. And she just said, I need clarification on Brian's comment. So it is light first and then oil. And Molly Vaco is on. Molly, nice to see you. She was on our call about 2-3 weeks ago.
Hey, Molly.
She's hanging out there in New York. Okay, this other one. Okay, this is actually, I don't know. Well, Alicia was asking, I think this is not directly related to red light, but just asking about if she could use a specific oil. And then somebody had commented back about Agiles. I would just say that on a quick side note, I probably would try it. I don't think you're going to hurt, but it's going to hurt. Because I know people like this lady, Alicia, who's saying that she gives her Alaskan Mouse Agiles every day. And basically it's a joint supplement that Young Living has.
Right, right.
Okay, cool. So what else should we know, or what else can you tell us? Because I got tripped up there. I was looking for this question and I can't find it right now. But what else can you tell us while I go searching for another question?
Well, so what else can I tell you? Like, light therapy is just, it's really, you know, it's like light therapy and essential oils are kind of like brother and sister to each other. Light therapy is just, goes up, you know, it's just so extensive. It's kind of easier to say what it doesn't help on versus what it helps on, because there's only a couple contraindications on it. And, you know, like one of the contraindications is if you have a purposely cut tendon, ligament, or nerve, you cannot use light therapy because it will grow it back. And, you know, that kind of contradicts what Western medicine says. But we've had experience in that. And, you know, it's just a side, it's just a good it's just a really, it's like a hammer, you know? It's just like every house needs to have a hammer. And it's not going away. It's just, you know, the market is just getting flooded. And, you know, the thing that we pride ourselves with, Barney, is, like I said, my husband and I have been using light therapy since 2002. And we're firm believers in providing the best quality support, client support, because there's so much information out there and people can get really easily overwhelmed. And, you know, even with essential oils, you know, you don't know where to turn and what to do.
Yeah.
And so our company is, we've built it based all on word of mouth advertising, which is also pretty unique in this world today of, you know, all of the internet marketing going on. So all of our clients come to us by being referred by other clients that have used our products and have been able to change lives. And we have an awesome support team here, and we have a doctor on staff. And so if you ask, hey, what about this? What about this? We'll usually respond to you within 4 hours with a layman's version of the medical doctor's notes. And we also have a lot of online course support for our clients. So it's not like, you know, just go buy a light from them. And, you know, it's kind of like there's a lot of essential oils. You just go buy the oils and then you go, now what? Right?
Yeah, that happens more often than would be ideal. I mean, people see them, they hear about them, they go get them, and then they're like, okay, crap, what do I do? Or they get so freaked out that they're like, I'm not sure how to properly use them, or what if I put this oil on and then this oil, it might spontaneously combust or something. And
right, exactly. Or, you know, I opened the bottle up and put it in my dog's nose and he ran away. So it must be good, right? You've had that situation too.
Yeah. I was just going to mention, as you were saying that about the education, because it just reminded me that was somebody had asked about this with one of the questions. I'm not going to go try find it again because I'll get myself lost, but you were asking about using essential oils with dogs. I can tell you that from my experience, you know, I put the summit together. I'm not an animal wellness expert per se, but my expertise is in, as you said, internet. You said that about internet marketing. It is good. A good sign for your business, because I ran my own gyms for 12 years, and that's how primarily we built our business, just by getting people results. They're like, wow, and that's what would bring people in. And I say that because from the summit perspective, that's what, I mean, there's been over 18,000 people that have attended, actually 23,000 that have attended the last 2 events. And it's all, a lot of it is just people like, wow, this is this free event, come and attend it. And then they get this big, you know, plethora of all of you amazing presenters and experts being able to share your expertise with everybody. And I'm saying this to answer the question because we have put together, we have our training platform and membership where people can go in, and if you're in the app or if you're in the members area, you can just search. There's a search option in there, so you can put in essential oils, and then you can see all the presentations that come up about it. You can put in red light therapy, or what, just put it in there, and you can see all the presentations and all the content that comes up there. We don't have everything in there, but there is a lot. There's over 100 and I think 123 or 120 presentations just from the last 2 years.
Wow.
So it's been, and it's on a wide variety of topics. I know another lady, I can't remember your name. I think it was, I'm not even going to try to find it now. But just say that she was new to raw feeding, or she's a raw feeder. So it's always good to go and look at the other side of like, well, maybe I could, you know, balance out my approach and my mindset. And that's what we're about. We want to provide the options to avoid the overwhelm. All of this to say, what my intention was just say that we're here as in the Animal Wellness Summit, in relationship with you to help everybody, because it can be you go online and you can Google anything, and you're always going to find 2 sides of the coin. You can find lots of information, but then you get paralysis of analysis, and you're like, okay, well, now I'm not really sure what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's where, you know, we provide the education programs, and, you know, give away a ton of free content. And, you know, we do, but as a matter of fact, at 3 o'clock, Dr. Alex is going on Facebook Live to answer questions for our clients. So, you know, that's because we're a small business. Brian and I started this business out of our basement. Yeah. And, you know, we're not the big guys. We're not some big giant corporation. And we put our heart and soul into making sure that what we put out there is going to be a benefit to our clients and to people everywhere. Brian and I are both practitioners. He is an applied equine podiatrist. We're both equine body workers. And so we're just not out there going, well, here's a new product and have at it and good luck with that. We're out in our barn.
Yeah.
And with our horses, with our dogs, with our cats, with our friends' horses, our friends' dogs, our friends' cats, testing everything. To make sure that what we're putting out there, people are gonna get results with. And and we back our products like with a 90-day money back guarantee, which I think is probably very uncommon these days.
Yeah, with purchases, usually it's 30 days.
Yeah, we're at 90.
We've done 60 before too. But it's good. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's regardless. There's some people I've learned, no matter how good what it is you offer, some people will buy it and then they'll wait till day 59 if you have a 60-day money back guarantee, and they're just going to ask for the money back. I'm like, okay.
Absolutely.
If that's what you need, if that's what you need to keep going through life, then I'm glad to help you.
Absolutely.
Okay, last two things. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's just our view on it too. Like, thank you for trying out our product. We appreciate it. And
hopefully enjoyed it when you had it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Brian, before I get his question up here with the pad system versus handhelds, Mercedes is asking, I have an 8-year-old Siberian Husky that is having issues with tight muscles and down her spine and in her neck and shoulders. Massage really helps, but how can light therapy help tight muscles?
So light therapy is really going to help with the tight muscles, because it's not just the muscles, it's the fascia that is connecting everything together. And so light therapy is incredibly effective for releasing those muscles and for releasing the fascia and softening that up so that the body can go more into balance. And especially like with our pad system, especially combining the red light with the infrared, that's really going to be incredibly effective for that particular situation. We had a one of our veterinarians that uses our product had a dog that had degenerative disc disease in one of her patients, i.e., I think it was a little Cocker Spaniel. And she was able to reverse it using our pain-free pad system within 3 months. And so and the other component of it is massage therapy. And I don't know, maybe maybe Mercedes, you're massaging it, but sometimes you may not want to massage your dog, or you don't have time to massage your dog. And that's where red light or the pad system would really come into play, is because you could just lay it right over the dog, turn it on, it's completely portable, and then the dog would enjoy a 10-minute session, and then she would be out of pain. And eventually, if you went on to a regular protocol of like every other day for the first couple weeks and then gradually decrease that, you would get to a point where everything should line back up. Because if she's got tight muscles down her spine, it's likely that something else is kind of out of whack. And so if we can get it out of whack, that whatever's out of whack back in place, then those tight muscles and neck and shoulders should go away. And Barney, when I did my presentation on how to locate hidden pain, I actually walked people through how to do that and find that. And I know that I addressed the neck in that presentation. So.
Okay, well this is good, because unless I'm mistaken, Mercedes, you either are currently or you have been a member in the past, because I'm usually freakishly really good with names and remembering people's names. But I know there's another Mercedes. There might be two of you, but I could be totally mistaken. However, if you're interested, I'll put a link to our VIP membership, which, by the way, you didn't hear this from me, but in the next 6 hours, there's going to be an email that's coming out that's going to announce a 72-hour flash sale. So keep an eye out for that, because it's my birthday this month. I'm going to be 36, so I'm giving once a year 36% off. So if you guys want to join in, then that would be great. And if not, then go learn as much as you can from Donna. But if I'm correct, Mercedes, let me know, because I'd like to give some confirmation to my brain here. Okay, so Tina, so people were asking, let me put this up here. I should put this earlier here. And then Brian was asking, partner was making a comment about, as I'm doing this, the contact information. So the website where people can go to find out more is photonichealth.com, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then it's pretty straightforward on there, guys. If you go and see that, I'll put it up for you.
Yeah. Or they can call our office. That's another thing. It's such old technology. It's new again, Barney. I've got 4 full-time staff that man our phones every single day, Monday through Friday. So if you ever have any questions about anything, you want us to order a pizza for you, we'll do that too. So.
Okay, well, as long as it's thin crust and has good cheese on it, then and extra sauce, then you can send it up to Canada if it's still warm.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, so Sherry, the name of the business is, what is the name? Is it just Photonic Health?
Photonic Health, yep.
Photonic Health. Okay, so I put the website, hey, look at this. Mercedes, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back here. Sometimes, you know, if I don't get compliments from other people, which I feel like Donna did with my hair already earlier today, but I'm gonna give myself one and just say that I got this right. So good on you, Mercedes. So you can go in to your members area and just search Donna Woods, go into the app and do the same thing. And then you can also search for anything else and you can find that. If you need any help, let us know. So that's good, Mercedes. And I think that I put this here about, yeah, all the contact information. So that's the website. I keep it up here. Somebody else said, Melanie. Yes, Melanie. We just put the website up here. So welcome. And then Rima, is it Rima or Rima? I'm not sure. I think it's Rima. I always like to say this as a joke when people come in late, say this was the most important training and presentation we've ever done, and all the valuable information has already been shared. So you missed out. But the good part, if you can't pick up on my mild Canadian sarcasm, to try and put a smile on people's faces, which clearly worked because either Donna feels bad for me and she's laughing at my dry jokes, or she actually thinks it's funny. Either way, I think that
the humor.
Well, there you go. But Rama, you can go back if you're new to our community or whatever. You can these calls stay on the Facebook page. They'll also be on the our YouTube page as well. Okay, and this one here. So Brian, can you just briefly explain the difference, and we'll wrap up here in the next couple minutes. Brian was just saying about the pad system versus the handhelds. And then this last story, I think he's asking to share, which, by the way, hi, Brian. I know we've never met, but nice to meet you on here. This is embarrassing. Here, he said to give an example of the car accident with the hound dog. And
oh my God.
Can you first explain the pad system versus the handheld? So just briefly explain that, because I think he was asking to distinguish the difference or why people.
Right. Yeah. So our standard light is just pretty straightforward. It's an entry-level device. It works fabulous. It's just straight red light. End of the story. Our Pro Gen 2 light has 3 settings in one. So we have a low, we have a high, and then we have a pulse frequency. And that, we use the handhelds to stimulate acupoints and to really do a lot of targeted work. So if I was working on like the husky's shoulder, like I could put the light right in, get it right into that shoulder area and work all the way around and really drive that light in pretty darn deep. And the other thing about having the handheld lights is they're so portable, you can take them with you anywhere you go.
Right.
Brian and I always have our lights on with us everywhere. And then our pad system is the most sophisticated device that we have. I actually have one here. So I'm going to show that to you guys. So this is our pad system. As you can tell, there's lots of lights on it, and it's incredibly thin. You can see that. And so it can roll up like that.
Yeah.
And it comes with a battery. So it can go wrap on a leg. It can lay over a back. And we do have a cover on it, but it is made out of 100% medical grade silicone. So it is actually waterproof, so you can clean it, which is a huge thing, especially when you're using it on different animals. And I'm going to try not to blind everybody, but so we've got, so the lights, the pad system can do blue only, and right there you can see, you can kind of see that pattern. Yep.
Yeah. The top anyways.
Yeah. And then we'll put the red on, and you can see, I mean, you can see how bright it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hold it now. Do you see the little waves going through the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what a frequency is. So we have different frequencies preset in here. So that's like, so you brought up the beamer.
Yeah.
So the beamer is running on a low frequency. So what it's doing is sending an electrical current, and it's just running at the same frequency that, I think it's a Schumann resonance. I'm not 100% positive, but
I think so.
Yeah. So with our pad system, we do have an app to run you can run it this way, just by pressing the buttons. Or you can also go to the app, and you can download any frequency that you want. So in addition to the lights, you're getting that different pulsing frequencies.
So say that last part again.
So in addition to getting the benefits of the light therapy, you're getting the benefits of frequency healing.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is everything. It reminds me about a presenter for the YL Success Summit, or the Young Living Summit. And this guy, his name is Tom Woloshin, Woloshin, and he's known for his work with the relaxer roller and little foot massager thing that stimulates the VitaFlex points in the feet, and also did a lot of work with Stanley Burroughs on the Master Cleanse, like the cayenne pepper, and lemon, which I thought was crazy until I did it myself, and it was life-changing. But the point is, he has, if you guys have access to it, he did a presentation on color therapy and light therapy and essential oils, and a lot of what you're talking about now reminds me of what he said. And it's just cool because it's nice to see the overlap there and the consistency. And really, he's like, I mean, everything in the creative universe is just energy and matter and light, right? It's
all energy, matter, and vibration. And so, you know, when we designed the pad that you could put in any frequency, you could put a Nogier frequency in, you can put a Rife frequency in. It doesn't matter what frequency, as long as you know what the frequency is or research it online. Yeah. You can pop in any frequency, and the lights will pulse at that frequency.
Yeah, so, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. The story that Brian wanted me to share, well, so Sherry, I think, says, how does this compare to laser therapy? This is considered the exact same thing as low-level laser therapy. So if you're going to a physical therapist, a chiropractor, and if you're going to, for aesthetics, like for skin rejuvenation, it's the exact same thing. We're just using a different way to get there. We're using a medical grade LED versus a laser.
Yeah, and then last thing before you go into the story, because we should do this. Right. This is what happens. The next thing would be like, at one time we went like an hour and 45 minutes, and normally I'm fine. We could go keep going. I just long story short, I've got my whole family at our house, and we usually try to keep these an hour. But this is the cool part. Before you answer this, as you rehydrate there, this is the neat part, is that we found with the summit, there was just, it was like, and it sounds gross, but like barfing on people, just all this information. And then people were overwhelmed and they're ecstatic because it was awesome. But that's why we like to do these calls. And I just, on a side note, I just want to say thank you for coming on here, because these aren't paid. I've had some presenters decline coming on here because they're like, well, I'm not going to be paid to do it. And others are like, no, this is great. But it's for the betterment of the community. I know I really appreciate answering these questions. So can the red light therapy help with hind-end weakness?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it can. That hind end weakness is, it can be just an energy blockage. And so we can help to clear the energy channels. And the other thing is that there are extensive studies that have shown that if you utilize red light therapy immediately before like working out, that it can actually increase muscle capacity. So there's a lot of biohackers that are using light therapy for that. And the story kind of that Brian wants me to share kind of goes into that.
Okay, perfect.
So we have a hound dog that actually dug into our farm a couple years ago, and he had 4 other homes previous to us, and he was less than a year old. So as you can imagine, he was a huge challenge, and he's incredibly afraid of fireworks and gunshots. And New Year's night, so like we had New Year's Eve, and we stayed home with him because, you know, we kept him inside because he gets afraid, and he was in bed shaking. So we put the pad system on him, and then he fell asleep. So he was good. We made him through New Year's Eve night. New Year's night, we left him out to go to the bathroom, and we live on 23 acres. And so he was kind of out gallivanting in the woods, and somebody started shooting off fireworks. And he got so scared and disoriented that he ran out into the road and got hit by a car. And the people that found him grabbed him off the side of the road and took him to our emergency vet clinic in town, and called us and said, "Hey, we've got your dog. You know, we're taking him to the emergency room." And we met them there, and Brian and I walked in, and like the first thing we did was we put our pad system on him. And then he went in while we waited for the veterinarian. So long story short, he broke his pelvis. Like the whole side of his pelvis was like broken off. Wow. And so the veterinarian says, "Well, you need to take him to your regular vet tomorrow morning." And so we did. And she's like, "Yep, he's got a broken pelvis and it's in this area, and we're going to need to do surgery. And I have nothing on my I don't have any room in my schedule till next week. So here's some pain pills, and keep him as quiet and comfortable as possible." And so we started putting the pad system, or we continued really putting the pad system on him. And we did it 3 times a day up until that next appointment. Within 1 week, he was putting weight on his back leg. And the veterinarian, we took him in for the surgery, and she's like, "I'm not doing surgery because I've never seen a dog recover this quickly." And she says, "He's always going to have a limp, and you know, we'll just wait and see how it goes." And fast forward to today, June 5th. So it's been about 6 months since his injury. He is out hunting. He, you know, sits up. He has 0 limp, and he has not had to have surgery. Like if you saw him, you would never know that he has a broken or had a broken anything. He has made 100% complete recovery.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff where you can't make that stuff
up.
No, it's
right.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's just it is, and I've seen that happen with things, not that, but just with other elements in my life and in holistic healing in the last 15 years and stuff. So it's pretty awesome, but that's pretty remarkable because you think of that flip side of the coin, if that wasn't available to you at that time, which obviously you know to use it, but if people don't, they just kind of, you know, when stuff like that happens, a lot of fear comes up, not only for the animal, but also for the pet parent and the owner. And then it can be a likelihood to kind of make rash decisions because they're afraid to not make the right decision for the animal in that situation, right?
Right. Yeah, I was a disaster. I was hysterical because he is my guy. I mean, he is just, you know. And so, you know, Brian is the engineer, so he's okay, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to just do that. We're going to do what we always do, and it'll be good. So, yeah, that's
pretty awesome. Well, this Jody's asking, actually, let me back up here. Julie, last 3 questions, and then we'll wrap it up here. It's been great. This has been awesome. Don't the presets on the controller also include frequencies?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a standard pad system and we have a professional pad system. So the standard pad system has 4 settings, and we have chosen preset frequencies for each setting that will be more beneficial for certain conditions. So that really kind of makes it super easy. Our professional pad system has individual frequencies, and that's for, you know, the professionals that are really into vibrational healing and really dig into frequency healing and things like that. And then of course that app is for both devices.
Okay, cool. So it does control it both.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. So thanks for that question, Julie. And Jody is asking, will you be at any of the animal conferences this year? I know that like we had one organized. It was going to be actually this past weekend. But then when we announced it about 3 months ago, in the next week, there was like 5 other conferences that got announced when Young Living, because a lot of our people that came to the summit originally came from the Young Living community, just because it's a huge community, and we did the Wild Success Summit, and it was a big event. Do you guys go to the different conferences or like vendor events and stuff like that?
We do. So we just got done doing, Brian just got done teaching in Canada, as a matter of fact. And what's coming up for us next is we will be out there's a big horse expo out in California in November, but before that, September. So we're going to be at the Pirelli Summit out in Pagosa Springs in September. And Brian will be presenting at the American Holistic Vet Medical Association conference.
Okay.
Then we also work with a biofeedback company. I don't know if you know anything about biofeedback or if you've had any biofeedback people. Yeah. Well, our devices can be used in conjunction with the biofeedback machine. So like once they figure out what the frequency and the imprint is, they can actually imprint, they can upload the corrective frequency into our devices. And then it administers that frequency to the... Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we work with Quest, and they're going to be in Atlanta in the end of September, I believe. Yeah, the end of September. And then Brian will be out right outside of LAX at a horse expo out there. Our calendar is on our website because we've got a couple other courses that we're hosting as well too. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So Jody, you can go check that out there, and then I think Mercedes was asking too because she's in Southern California. And yes, Mercedes, I agree. We do have some pretty awesome presenters that come on here. We have some really, I'm going to say, far out there. I wouldn't say weird, but just some very interesting presenters coming on this year. There's some new ones coming on that have been referred by other presenters and other people, and then we go through this whole application and vetting process, and it's pretty cool. It's just, and then I don't know if you're presenting again, if Jamie's been in touch with you about this year for 2019 already. I know she's my assistant. Jamie sent out the email. Right. But yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. Awesome. This one, Patty, I'm not going to go into detail, but I can tell you that I think that you've been on for the majority of the call, but you're asking about the hind leg weakness is a common symptom. And I think that Donna's answer was yes, that it can. So the only way to try it is to test it out. Yeah. Get one, test it out. Well, and like I said, we offer a 90-day money-back guarantee. So that's pretty good. You know, I know that people are still set. You know, it's just like oils. It's like it still sounds too good to be true, but we've used it on lots of dogs. I've used it on a cat that actually became paralyzed in its hind end, and the owner had it up and walking within 2 weeks. Yeah, that, and I've thought before too, even with the oils and other things, like when people are like, wow, that seems so bizarre or surreal, like. I'm like, well, but why is that not normal? And the fact that other things don't work, that's normal.
Like, how, you know, and kind of what you're saying, like in support of that, saying that you're
Right.
like, it seems like it's too good to be true and that it works so well, but that when it does, it's like, well, but what I find interesting is that some people think that that's not normal.
Correct.
When in reality, it's not that it's not normal. It is, it's just not common because it hasn't been for quite some time, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
At least that's my 2 cents.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Okay. Well, Brian, last thing, saying they're in California next week at the Pirelli event, which is awesome. So Donna, thank you so very much for coming on here, and I'll put this back up again. So if you guys want to go find out more information, go to photonichealth.com. And for those of you, and you can go there, you can call them, you can email them, fill out the web form, whatever. It sounds like they have some good support. And if those of you who were asking, I think there was a couple of you asking, or at least I mentioned it, but you can go to, if you just type in go.animalwellnesssummit.com, I'm going to put the link in here right now. I'm just trying to multitask, proving to all you women that indeed men have a harder time multitasking than you guys do. But then I'm going to put the link in there that if you want to go check out about our VIP membership, you can do so. And if you're on our email list and you're interested in joining or upgrading or whatever, then keep an eye out because the email is going to come out about the flash sale. And any last words of wisdom that you have for us today, Donna, before we wrap up?
Be grateful.
It's good.
Be grateful. Life's too short to be anything but grateful, and love on your animals and do right by them.
I agree.
Yeah.
That is a good note to end things off. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'm going to say bye-bye from Canada. And Donna, thanks again. And Brian, for your contribution here today. And we'll talk to you guys in the future.
Thanks, Barney.
All right. See you, everybody. Have a great day. Stay blessed, stay grateful, stay humble, stay hungry, and keep learning and keep growing. And remember, when you know more, learn more, and know more, you can do better.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a great day, guys. We'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.